We start with breaking news this morning. You know, if you pick up a giant brick and you throw it into the glass, it's going to break, right? Well, not necessarily. Some would-be thieves tried that over and over and over and over again. News Channel 5's Sophie Nielsen-Colding outside of the electronics store just south of downtown this morning. So this is a specific kind of glass you were telling us about, right, Sophie?
The director told me it's hurricane-proof glass, and while they did not break through, they certainly broke it. Right now, there is a big cleanup effort going on at this Simply Mac store in Nashville. There was just shattered glass all over the carpet inside. Employees came in extra early, and if you take a look at this panel right here, you can see someone obviously tried to smash it. The director is looking over the surveillance video right now. He hasn't released it yet, but he told us that he watched someone smash away one of these glass panels 15 times, and they did that on 4 separate glass panels. Still weren't able to get in. He said they have a lot of pretty valuable merchandise inside, obviously being an Apple store, from Mac laptops to Apple watches, that kind of a thing. But he said he actually heard about this. It happened at 1:30 in the morning, but he said he actually found out about it when he woke up this morning and watched the news.
It's not the ideal way to wake up to your morning, but the good news is they weren't able to get in, and all of our product is secure. So it's not the greatest way to wake up, but it's good news at the same time as well.
He also told us that he has to deal with this about every 6 months, because that's about how often someone tries to break into just this one Simply Mac store. He says, though, in every other case, they've been able to catch the people who have done it because they have surveillance cameras all over the property. He hopes that they'll be able to do the same thing this time. Live in Nashville, Sophie Nielsen-Colding, News Channel 5.
All right, Sophie, thanks so much. And breaking news now. An alert issued overnight for an armed and dangerous suspect on the run right now. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy following this fugitive search in the newsroom this morning. And boy, police are telling neighbors, really, you need to be extra careful, right?
Yeah, the warning they gave them just before midnight was to lock your doors, and now they want us to make sure everyone in the Westmoreland area knows that that is still an alert for this morning. Be careful, lock your doors, and be on the lookout for this guy. He ran away from police last night, and this morning they're looking for him. His name is Chad Sharp. He's 5'11", 185 pounds, dark hair, dark complexion, last seen in a gray shirt, and they think he might be in the Raby Coates area. So keep an eye out. He is considered armed and dangerous, and again, that alert to residents to lock your doors is still in effect this morning. Just talked to the police department not too long ago. They say they've had no luck finding him overnight. So if you see a man matching this description or anything out of the ordinary in your neighborhood, police want to hear from you. In the 5 Alert Center, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Dan, thank you for that. And happening right now, police are searching for a convicted killer who, get this, walked away from a community service project. Convicted killer on a community service project. Quentin Stewart has been on the run since around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We're told that he was working at the Middle Tennessee Veterans Cemetery on a work duty near Pegram when he just kind of vanished. He's been serving time at the Riverbend Maximum Security Prison since he was convicted of second-degree murder back in 1999. If you see this guy, contact police immediately. 3 Metro police officers are on administrative assignment this morning, pending an investigation into a hostage situation that then spiraled out of control yesterday.
Oh, they shooting him. They shot him.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. 3 officers firing their weapons at Adrian Robinson right there at the edge of the Bicentennial Mall yesterday morning. Police say they went to arrest Robinson and his wife at this motel on Trinity Lane, but instead of going quietly, Robinson allegedly grabbed his wife and then fired at the officers. The couple hopped in a car and sped to the downtown area. At one point, the wife bailed out, but Adrian drove on and eventually crashed right there on Jefferson Street. When Robinson got out of the car, apparently he pointed a BB gun at the officers. The officers then shot him in the arm.
He actually tried to light a cigarette and sit in the car with the police outside ordering him to surrender. It was at that point, to try to end this, to not prolong it, that those distraction devices were deployed.
And those distraction devices worked big time. Robinson and his wife were taken into custody after a brief struggle. They're facing a laundry list of charges this morning. There were several important races in election 2016 yesterday on the ballot, so let's look at some of the more talked about results this morning. Let's begin in Washington, the U.S. congressional races. In District 4 in Tennessee, Scott DesJarlais comes out on top, 52% of the vote. Grant Sterrett conceded late last night, congratulating DesJarlais. The race in District 5, not very close. Stacey Rise Snyder getting 51% of the vote over two challengers there that both got less than 30%, John Smith and Jody Ball. Incumbent Diane Black, she took home a big win in District 6 with 64% of the vote over a somewhat contentious campaign by Joe Carr, the challenger there. On the Democratic side of that same district, though, now Diane Black will be facing off against David Kent. He beat Flo Matheson 67 to 33%. Everyone wanted a bit of District 8, which is over in northwest Tennessee, but stretches all the way down just to the outskirts of Shelby County. There were 13 candidates. Shelby County Republican David Kustoff took home the win with 27% of the vote. He'll face off against Democrat Ricky Hobson in the general election in that district. Well, the scandal surrounding State Representative Jeremy Durham finally caught up with him. He's out. Sam Whitson beat him with 80% of the vote. Durham, of course, dropped out of the race, said he was going to put his campaign on hold, but his name was still on the ballot since he did it so late. Durham came under fire after a state investigation found that he had inappropriate contact with almost 24 workers at the state capitol. He was banished to a different building, couldn't even have his office near the other lawmakers, and Governor Bill Haslam even called for Durham's resignation a couple of weeks back. One of the races that we were watching closely, the state Senate battle in District 20. Steve Dickerson fighting off a challenger, Ron McDowell. Now, this one, you may remember, got a little nasty when McDowell's campaign sent out these flyers last month referencing ISIS and photoshopping that ISIS flag there on a suburban front porch. The flyer connected Dickerson's decision not to sign a letter asking Governor Haslam to ban Syrian refugees from coming to Tennessee. Dickerson called it nothing but sensationalism, and apparently the voters agreed with him. Well, for the first time in more than 6 months, District 1 will have a Metro Council representative sitting in its place. That area includes parts of Bordeaux, Whites Creek, and Jolton, the north side of town. And there's your winner, Nick Leonardo, taking over the vacant seat after former Councilman Lonnell Green Jr. resigned back in January. Green is facing charges of witness coercion for allegedly trying to keep a domestic abuse victim from talking to police. We should mention Nick Leonardo may be a familiar face to you here on News Channel 5+. He is a legal analyst for us here at the station, and you see him when we do our extended trial coverage like the Vanderbilt rape case. Well, the races for the Metro School Board, they were a big battle yesterday, and there were 5 seats up for grabs, an incumbent running in all but one of those races. The school board chairperson will keep her seat, Sharon Dixon Gentry, receiving 55% of the vote in District 1. Jill Spearing, also an incumbent, holds on to her seat by 17 percentage points in District 3. District 5, newcomer Christian Buggs, a former Metro student and now a teacher, wins that seat over 3 challengers. District 7, very dicey. Will Pinkston, who's been there for a while, he hangs on by only 36 votes. And finally, District 9, the incumbent Amy Frogge takes that win over Tom Druffel. Frogge, of course, representing down in the Bellevue area. You can find all the results and even more races like the judges' races and things of that nature by going to our website. We've got it all there at newschannel5.com. Speaking of politics, and a really big name in politics, we're mourning the loss of a political pioneer in Tennessee. Jane ESKIND passed away at the age of 83 yesterday. ESKIND, the first woman to win a statewide election here in Tennessee when she won the Democratic primary for the U.S. Senate seat way back in 1978. She also became the first woman to chair the Tennessee Democratic Party. Jane ESKIND was inducted into the Tennessee Women's Hall of Fame 6 years ago. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced. As soon as they are, we'll pass those on to you.